So welcome to Wellness Wednesdays in partnership with Special Olympics Kentucky and the Kentucky Inclusive Health Collaborative at the University of Kentucky. My name is Lindsay Mullis. I am your clinical director for health promotion with Special Olympics Kentucky. So when you do the basketball games and the fun summer game events, we're in the tent in the corner with a green. We weigh in, do blood pressure, and have fun games and talk about what it means to be healthy. And so that's why we're here today with some of my athlete ambassadors, talking about ways that we can stay healthy at home and stay connected. Last week, Morgan talked about snacking healthy and what that meant. And today, we're going to talk about building a healthy plate. So I'm going to let my fellow athlete ambassadors introduce themselves and we'll get started. Morgan, I'll start with you.
Hi, my name is Morgan Turner. I'm a Special Olympics athlete and athlete ambassador. And I also work at the University of Kentucky with Lindsay as a human education specialist at the Human Development Institute.
And how about you, Katie?
My name is Katie Williams. I am an athlete and an athlete ambassador.
I'm Desiree Nickel. I'm an athlete and an athlete ambassador.
And Desiree is my partner today in talking about building a healthy plate. So what we wanted to refresh your minds about, if you were with us last week or if you weren't, what Morgan was talking about, and that was about some healthy snack ideas. So making sure that you're snacking healthy, right? Not just thinking about our meals and our plates that Desiree is going to talk about today, but also what we're eating in between. And so here's some examples that Special Olympics has given us as good, healthy snack ideas. You've got your apple slices dipped in peanut butter, which is actually really good. I've had that one. Low-fat unsweetened yogurt with berries, low-fat cottage cheese with tomatoes, carrots or peppers dipped in hummus, and celery topped with peanut butter and raisins, which I call ants on a log. I like that one. I've also done that with pretzel sticks and not celery. So some really good ideas to think about snacking. So hopefully you all have been thinking about healthy snacks in between your meals. And then today we're going to talk about, when you are making your meal, how can we make that healthy? How can we build a healthy plate? So do you guys remember maybe the My Pyramid when you were younger and in school that the USDA came out with? Well, that's gone. They got a new image, and it's this one called Choose My Plate. And so that way, instead of having to worry about a serving size and what are those numbers and how does that all add up, because that's really confusing, this is an easier way to think about how we build our plate and make it healthy, and think about the foods that go in each of those food groups and what our plate should look like to make sure we're getting the right amount of everything. And the thing about your plate that you make each day, not every meal might look like this, but maybe if your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, if you put all of that on one big plate, it looked more like this colorful plate. That's okay too, as long as we're thinking about all of the main messages of how we need to put our plates together. So, have you all seen this before? I know Morgan. Richard's raising his hand. Yeah? Well, good. So that's good. That means that either you came to see us at the health promotion tent, or you've had some good nutrition classes along the way. Just got a cute little friend. So that's our Choose My Plate. And what Desiree and I are going to talk through today are each of those food groups and what those should look like. So this is Choose My Plate from USDA. This is what the plate looks like that Special Olympics shows us in our Fit 5. So you can see the same thing of fruits and vegetables take up half that plate. There's brown, darker whole grains in the grains area. Dairy is the small area. They don't have too much dairy. And the meat, fish, eggs, and beans, that's our protein area. So I'm going to ask you guys, and you can take yourself off mute or you can type in the chat if that's easier for you. But when you're looking at this, what are some things that you would put on your plate to have a healthy plate? What things do you like to eat that fit in those food groups?
Carrots.
Carrots. I know carrots. Morgan loves carrots.
Eggs.
Like to eat eggs.
I'm a Brussels sprouts fan.
Good for you, Desiree. That's awesome. Not a lot of people.
Hey, I gotta have my dark green leafy vegetables so I can go fast.
That's awesome. That's what makes you a
Apples.
rock star, girl.
You know it.
What else do you guys like to eat? Josh, I saw you were talking, but you were muted, so I want to make sure that if you had something to join in on, we caught it.
Like salad stuff.
Yeah. Salad stuff, that would be half your plate of being those greens and those fruits and vegetables, right?
Yeah.
You put
Like
Fish.
fish.
steak.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Is there anything else anybody can think of that they like to put on their plate to know that they're eating healthy?
Broccoli.
Broccoli. I know Katie said broccoli last week too.
Green beans.
Yeah, green beans are good. Good. And what I like about this picture that Special Olympics gave us is they're talking about you could have fresh fruits and fresh vegetables in there, but they're also talking about canned vegetables or frozen fruits and vegetables. Those are good too, to make sure that we're getting our half of our plate without our day or throughout our day being fruits and vegetables. That's hard to kind of think about. If you've got at least something every meal that's going to hit in that food group, then we're good to go. So you guys are great. What great answers. Nobody told me donuts. So that's really important that you didn't put donuts on your healthy plate. So strong start this Wellness Wednesday. All right. So we're going to break down those food groups and just talk about some things that we should know when we think about each of those areas of the plate. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Desiree.
Okay. Fruits, we should make it colorful. Some examples are strawberries, apples, bananas, oranges, peaches, plums, grapes, and kiwi. Most fruits are naturally low in fat, sodium, and calories. Fruits are sources of many essential nutrients that are consumed, including potassium, dietary fiber, vitamin C, and folic acid. It is always better to eat fruit in its natural form instead of dried, preserved, or cooked. And frozen fruit is great for smoothies.
Good.
Vegetables will make it colorful too. Let me pull this in. Like fruit, vegetables come in many different colors, and the more colors you eat, the more nutrition you get. Vegetables, like fruit, have lots of fiber, which is health enhancing. The most nutritious of all vegetables are the dark green leafy vegetables. These include kale, collard greens, spinach, arugula. Most people eat their greens by making tasty salads or blending them into smoothies. Other vegetables include carrots, beets, red pepper, green pepper, yellow squash, green onions, and many others. Eating lots of vegetables every day is key to good health.
Right. So thinking about what our plate looked like to make it healthy, remember half of that plate was fruits and vegetables. So we really want to make sure that that's what we're eating a lot of, are those fruits and vegetables that Desiree just talked about. So keeping that in mind and thinking about how can we add that to what we're eating to make it colorful and to make it healthy, right? What's next?
Protein's next. Protein is not only in meat and fish, but also in nuts, seeds, and vegetables. Most Americans eat way more protein than they need. Remember to make half your plate fruits and vegetables. Protein sources are beef, pork, chicken, and fish, nuts, seeds, vegetables, and even green leafy vegetables have protein. Choose lower fat and lean sources of protein like chicken breasts that are grilled instead of fried. Protein helps build muscle and make you strong. Oh, grains. Here we are. Grains are an important part of any diet and a good source of nutrients. Choose whole grain versus highly processed grain sources. In other words, whole wheat bread is better than white bread. Whole grain contains entire grain kernel and better nutrition. Examples of whole grains are brown rice, whole wheat pasta, oatmeal, whole grain cereal, quinoa, and wild rice.
So I'm just curious, because sometimes when we're talking about grains, have any of you all tried quinoa? Do you know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yes.
Is that what you gave me, Lindsay, to try?
It is, Morgan. It is. When we
Yeah.
were in, I think, Somerset. It's the first
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Yeah?
yeah.
How would you all describe quinoa for those people who maybe who've never had it before?
Yeah, the texture's a little bit different, but it's
Yeah.
good.
Kind of like rice, but in a little teeny tiny circle. Maybe couscous is another similar to quinoa. That's like that. That's a little grain type pasta. Yeah. So I think the important message about grains is a lot of the time we eat, just like Desiree said about protein, we also eat a lot more grains than we think we should, right? So
Right.
our portions are not too big when we have our grains, and it's really better for you to have whole grains. So thinking about getting, brown rice and the brown bread and the whole wheat pasta. And sometimes for people who think that tastes a little bit different, you can always do half and half. You can put, half of the pasta in your boiling water to be whole grain and the other half to be the white grain. I've never tried that with a sandwich if you did one white bread and one brown bread, but I'm sure that probably would taste pretty similar, just so you can get used to the different tastes in it. But having grain kernel is definitely a lot healthier for you than having the processed white bread. Anybody have any questions about any especially the grains or the food groups that we've talked about so far?
Mm-mm.
I didn't know pretzel was a grain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely not one of the healthier options,
No.
It's pretty processed. But they do have some types of whole grain pretzels I've seen that you can get. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to dairy.
Okay, all right. Dairy products are usually based on cow's milk, which is turned into cheese, yogurt, ice cream, and other products. Goat's milk has become more popular in recent years. Many people have switched over to almond milk or soy milk as a lower fat alternative to dairy. Choose low fat or fat-free dairy option. Foods made with milk with little to no calcium like cheese, sour cream, and butter are not part of the dairy group.
Yeah, so remember when we had our My Plate, the dairy was up in the corner, was a little smaller, and then also in our Special Olympics Healthy Plate, it was in the middle and a little bit smaller. So a lot of people think about when you're choosing your drink, it should be water, right? That's the best thing we can drink for you. But remembering that milk is still a good source of calcium. So it's really helpful to think of your dairy food group as being your calcium food group. So you still want to eat foods throughout your day that are going to be good for your strong bones, right? You want to have calcium to keep our bones strong. So that's why it's good to still incorporate into your diet some cheeses and the yogurt, and thinking about other ways that we can make sure we're getting those calcium fortified options and then keeping us healthy. And that's another good point that is on the slide that Desiree mentioned, that things like cream cheese and sour cream or butter, we might think that they're in the dairy group because they might be made from cow's milk or things like that. But the thing that makes them not be in that dairy group is because they don't have the calcium that's good for our bones. So that's why eating those things doesn't count as being a good part of our healthy plate. Does that make sense to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Some people feel very passionate about the dairy group and are very against milk products. So I think it helps to think about it in that calcium way more so than cow's milk in the dairy way. Yeah. So does everybody understand our calcium food group? Nods, some thumbs up maybe. Good. Sarah gave me thumbs up. Perfect. Okay, so those are all of our food groups. So now we have a video about how to create a healthy plate and thinking about how do we bring all of that together.
What can you make your family for dinner that's healthy and tastes good?
Can you guys hear
can
that?
follow the plate method. This healthy eating plan works for everybody, including people with diabetes. Indeed, making nutritious, healthy meals will be a snap. What's a healthy plate? It's a way to control your serving sizes where you don't have to count. Simply use a 7-inch plate for children and a 9-inch plate for adults. First, divide the plate in half and fill one of them with vegetables. There are 2 types of vegetables: starchy, like potatoes, corn, peas, or plantains, and non-starchy, like zucchini, jicama, cucumbers, carrots, or salad. If you have diabetes, fill half your plate with non-starchy vegetables. Then fill 1/4 with whole grains or starches, like brown rice, corn, beans, or whole wheat pasta. In the other quarter, add some lean protein like tofu, grilled fish, or chicken. What about adding a side of tortilla or bread? That's hard to resist, I know. The trick is serve yourself a smaller portion of the other starches on your plate instead. To complete your meal, add a drink like unsweetened coffee, tea, or a glass of milk. But remember that drinking 8 ounces of milk affects your blood sugar just as it would if you ate another tortilla or a slice of bread. Or you can also choose water with a squeeze of lemon or lime. How you create your plate is up to you. You have many options, as long as you remember to follow these healthy guidelines. And ta-da! You're all set. You might be thinking, how can you use the plate method to make vegetable beef soup or other meals? Simply follow the same idea. Fill your pot with low sodium broth and lots of healthy vegetables like corn, cabbage, zucchini, carrots, and onions. And some lean beef, but not too much. Just like you'd put on 1/4 of your plate for each person you're serving. If you want, add your favorite type of bread on the side. And you've got the right amount for a healthy meal. Enjoy.
I liked that video. I thought it was a really good way of thinking about how you build your plate and how it looks visually, and even thinking about how if you're cooking dinner for your family and making a big pot of soup, we're still thinking about how our plate looks in that big pot, just like I talked about how it also looks over the course of your whole day. So good. There we go. So in bringing it home for us, Desiree's got some tips for great health and lifestyle wisdoms just to give you more ways to be healthy. I'm going to turn it over to her.
Okay, lifestyle wisdoms. Exercise almost every day and avoid stress and drama. Bring more loving relationships into your life. Studies show that this is very important key to great health. More wisdoms. See, you fixed the slide. Do not smoke, drink alcohol, or drugs of any kind. Limit sugar. Avoid fast food and processed food. Avoid lunch meats and don't eat too much cheese. But do eat lots of green leafy vegetables.
Excellent. And so in helping Desiree with the visuals for this slide, you can see the slices of cheese there. A serving size of cheese, of thinking about what we should eat, remember that dairy calcium group that was smaller, is actually 3 dice cubes is our 1 serving, which I know for me that I eat a lot more cheese than that. So that's a helpful visual for me to think about what should be a serving of cheese if I'm sprinkling it on top of my pasta or my salad, or putting cheese on a sandwich. Those kinds of things is helpful for me to think of those 3 little bitty dice, right? And that's what our serving is. So that's
apparently we shouldn't smoke pot either, because I think you got that on there.
Yeah, well, you got no drugs. I found that visual on the image. I said, I'm hitting all of Desiree's points with one graphic there, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody do that.
Yeah. But do eat lots of green leafy vegetables. I think if anything, that's one of our main messages, right, today, that half your plate should be fruits and vegetables, and shoot for the dark leafy greens for sure. So now that we've talked about it, we want to know, what ways are you going to make a healthy plate after today? Because hopefully you're inspired.
Drink more water with my meals, which I feel like I've done that a little bit better, but you can always get better.
It's true. Good point, Morgan.
Eat more vegetables.
That's a good one. That's definitely a good takeaway for sure.
Dark green leafy vegetables, Katie.
Yes, dark green leafy vegetables.
You're on point. It's okay. Don't smoke pot.
Yeah, it's a good message. It's a good message. That's not the green leafy vegetable.
wrong green leafy vegetable.
Josh, do you have any ideas about how you're going to make a healthy plate?
Like don't use much like frozen vegetables. Use like fresh.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, if the frozen vegetable is the only way that you can get the vegetable into your plate and into your day, then that's good. That's so good. But
Yeah.
having fresh vegetables is just healthier for you if you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, maybe thinking about the grains and the starches that came from the bean,
Yeah.
that if you add a roll, you need to think about, where does that fit into your plate, even though it sits on the side, and what do I need to take away to kind of help balance, right, better?
Right.
That's something that I learned.
Eat
And for
more-
me to eat,
Oh, go ahead.
eat less cheese.
It's
Eat
a
a
hard
lot.
one, Katie.
That too.
Goodness.
That is a hard one.
I did it up.
Probably eat less like fried fish or chicken and grilled fish, and eat more grilled chicken or fish.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a really simple one to focus on, right? Right, Morgan?
Yeah.
About doing the lean proteins,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
What about, was anybody inspired to maybe think about protein in a different way? Think about how it doesn't have to be, like an animal product. It doesn't have to be chicken, beef, or pork. You should have nuts, or they mentioned tofu, or how certain vegetables have a lot of protein. Or I know quinoa has a lot of protein in it.
Mhm.
I think that's a grain like that fits in more than one food group. So anybody feel inspired to try something like that? See a couple head nods. Good. That means Desiree and we did our jobs today of helping you think about your healthy plate, which is great, because now we are issuing you a challenge.
Oh.
Is to make that healthy plate for your meal at some point throughout this week, and take a picture of it and then share it with us. So this is week 2 of our 3-week Wellness Wednesdays series that we have for this month. And there's more to come, which that's exciting. So we want to be able to see what it is that you're doing. And maybe you've also got a healthy snack from last week that Morgan talked about that you also want to take a picture of. But we want to see what it is that you're eating that's healthy and keeping you healthy, the best athlete you can be. Either share that with us by bringing your picture next week when Katie and I are talking about portion sizes and serving sizes. Or if it's easier, you can also email it to us at wellness4ky@uky.edu, which is the same email that's on our recruitment flyer for this series. And maybe, Morgan, if you don't mind to type that for me in the chat box, our wellness email, so that people can have that and know where it's emailed. But either way, make your healthy plate, take a picture of it, and then we want to see it. Even if you don't email it, but you bring that picture next week and hold the phone up in front of the camera, or we'll put it into the shared screen when Katie and I are talking next week if you do email it to the wellness number 4ky at ky.edu. So whether you feel inspired or competitive, hopefully you can show us the things that you're learning, and then maybe the things that you're trying that's new. Maybe I'm hoping somebody will send a picture of quinoa on it, maybe. What do you guys think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For being responsible for a family meal, I appreciate quinoa. It's a healthy grain and protein, and it also only takes 15 minutes to make. So
Nice.
I like that. Yeah. So everybody feels challenged. You're up to the challenge to take pictures of your healthy plate. Let us see what you're working with. Good. Okay, and Morgan's working on typing the email in the chat.
Oh, I did.
Oh, you already did? Oh, okay. It didn't pop up for me.
Was that it? Wellness for KY?
At uky.edu. Yep. And then next week, Katie and I are talking about serving sizes. So
Go, Katie.
it's the same link to register. Tell all your friends. Have them come and join us. We had a smaller group today, so let's see if we can't bring a
Bigger group.
bigger group.
Bigger group today, next week.
Yeah, for sure. So serving sizes next week, and then email again, and all of our contacts for where Morgan and I work at the university. That's the number 4KY. We have a Facebook page, we have our website, our email, and then we also have a cool YouTube channel where maybe we'll put the recording of this video in partnership with Special Olympics so we can get more of the messages out there. And Morgan's got some pretty good videos with his Morgan's Musings where he's all about being good leaders and self-advocates and how to be healthy. So definitely check it out. And I'm going to stop sharing. Oh, there's this. So yeah. Now, everybody.
Yay.
Yeah. So even though we had a small group, you guys were great today. And you knew all the smart, healthy answers. So
Yeah.
definitely tell your friends, because maybe those are the people that need to come and hear the messages.
Yep.
Building a healthy plate, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you all are the ambassadors. Good. Does anybody have any questions or anything else that you want to talk about building a healthy plate?
I think we're smart on building a healthy plate.
Yeah, I'd say I think we had a good group. Desiree nailed it with all her research that she did. Those were her slide content. She typed that up, and I just had to tweak it to make it fit and find pictures. Did a nice job, Desiree.
Yeah, I like your slides.
Good deal. Well, you guys are great. Thanks so much for joining us today, and definitely, like I said, tell your friends. Come back next week. Katie and I are talking, and then we'll also be asking you guys what other topics do you want us to talk about in future Wellness Wednesdays, beyond the month of August. So these were topics that Special Olympics International gave us to chat about, but we want to know what you guys want to learn and what do you want to do. And, I teach Zumba, so do we want to Zumba one day? Just let me know. So, okay. But in the meantime, have a good rest of your day and a good rest of your week, and we'll see you
Right. Next week.
same place in a week. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Everybody.
Bye.
Bye.